Chrisean Rock's violent meltdown. Chrisean Rock asked to step outside for a moment on November 22nd, 2022, but little did Kai know that her return would be his biggest nightmare. When Kai's friend CJ mentioned something about wrestling, Chrisean almost gave him the most traumatic experience of his life. She tackled a guy she just met like they were in some WWE match, but while tackling CJ was bad, worse was when she lost it on her boyfriend Blueface for siding with a joke by CJ. She started hitting Blueface repeatedly, and although Kai tried to calm her down, she would only hit Blueface harder. Security had to get involved because this girl couldn't control herself, but Chrisean wasn't done making everyone uncomfortable. In the chaos of her tantrum, she put a hole in Kai's wall, literally damaging his house. When Kai confronted her about it, instead of apologizing, she just said, "You rich, you can fix it." This got her a fair amount of criticism from not only Kai, but also the audience saying she was disrespectful AF and questioning how you can be a guest at someone's house and treat it like that. The whole incident became a viral moment for all the wrong reasons, with clips circulating across social media showing just how unhinged her behavior was. What made it even worse was that this wasn't just some random outburst, it was a pattern of violent behavior that would continue to follow her. After the stream, Chrisean got pregnant with Blueface's child and gave birth live on Instagram on September 4th, 2023, because apparently normal human behavior wasn't really her thing. However, behind the scenes, she'd been assaulting multiple people throughout the years, leading to her becoming a wanted criminal in Oklahoma. The legal troubles weren't just minor incidents either. They were serious charges that painted a picture of someone who couldn't control their violent tendencies. But despite all that, she refused to turn herself in, saying, "I don't plan on being in jail while my son is growing. Like, I just don't plan on that at all." She instead tried her hand in other career options, such as becoming a professional women's football player in May 2024, and suddenly turning super religious and releasing a single called Yahweh. She's also been promoting Christianity all over her social media, posting Bible verses and talking about finding God, but all her viewers were skeptical, thinking it's nothing more than a publicity stunt, with people saying, "When this act going to end, you were just in a club last week, throwing money on strippers and shaking ass screaming Yahweh." The religious transformation felt forced and convenient, coming right after her legal troubles intensified, making it look like she was trying to rebrand herself to avoid consequences for her actions. Kodak Black's disturbing behavior. Kodak Black joined Kai for his Mafiathon streams on November 5th, 2024, talking normally at first, but everything changed after he did something on camera that looked like he took some kind of substance. From here on, he behaved in a very disturbing way, which left Kai confused and scared. Kodak started talking to himself saying, "Excuse me, man. Damn it. Because I'm tired, man. I'm going to bed, man. I'm going to sleep." His erratic behavior worried viewers, and when chat expressed concern, Kodak responded hostilely saying, "They don't enjoy me here, bro. Everybody in chat fuck." He didn't take criticism well, saying, I badly hurt someone like a mother-like joke or look down me," forcing Kai to intervene. The whole situation became increasingly uncomfortable, as Kodak seemed to be having some kind of mental breakdown live on stream, with thousands of people watching him spiral in real time. It was the kind of content that felt exploitative to watch, like you were witnessing someone's lowest moment being broadcast for entertainment. Kodak's paranoia became more apparent as the stream went on, with him making comments that suggested he felt like everyone was against him. When Kai tried to reason with him, Kodak would either ignore him completely or respond with more incoherent rambling. The chat was filled with people expressing genuine concern for his well-being, but Kodak interpreted their worry as hate and became even more defensive. Kodak decided to leave, but continued making Kai uncomfortable even while departing, still muttering to himself and acting erratically. People said Kodak is the worst person to have on your stream, and criticized him as the worst at handling feedback. When people called him out after the stream, he responded by talking about others being broke and hurt, which only made more people turn against him because here was someone clearly struggling with substance issues, calling other people's lives into question. Even Kai couldn't believe how weird Kodak was acting throughout the entire ordeal, and you could see in his face that he was genuinely worried about what was happening to his guest. The incident raised serious questions about the responsibility streamers have when guests appear to be having mental health or substance abuse issues live on camera. Quavo's arrogant confrontations. Quavo made his appearance on day 7 of Kai's Mafiathon on October 8th, 2024. But he was bound to get into trouble as he was pressing everyone in the room for even the simplest of reasons. He started interrogating people about their chains and spending habits, like he was running some kind of jewelry appraisal service. But not everybody was intimidated by his attempts at dominance. When DDG was in the room, Quavo told him, "Stand over there," and DDG asked, "Why would I stand over there?" with Quavo responding, "Because you too close." DDG continued, "Why would I stand over there though? I feel like you going stand if you're too close. You confused." And Quavo said, "No, I don't. Where? You going to go if you're too close?" The whole exchange was bizarre because Quavo seemed to think he had some kind of authority over where people could position themselves during the stream. Although things could have easily escalated from here, DDG did not let his ego get the best of him, saying, "You got it. All you guys got it. Practice round, you know. Practice round's always helpful." DDG's mature response probably prevented what could have turned into a much more serious confrontation, but it also highlighted how unnecessarily aggressive Quavo was being over absolutely nothing. The interaction made Quavo look petty and insecure, like he was trying to establish some kind of pecking order in a room full of people who didn't recognize his supposed authority. But Quavo received a lot of backlash from the internet for his behavior, that he made a post saying that it was all just a joke, which is the classic response from someone who realizes they look bad and wants to backtrack. However, DDG had something a little bit different to say, explaining, he was like, "Why don't you just go sit over there?" And I'm like, "Why would I sit over there? I'm in the game." But I just think he didn't understand the game, but you also got to understand that he is fried, is high, and is smoking. DDG's explanation suggested that Quavo's behavior might have been influenced by substances, which would explain the irrational aggression and territorial behavior. So Quavo often came across as arrogant and careless with his words, trying to start conflicts over nothing, and then claiming it was all jokes when people called him out for his behavior, which is exactly the kind of toxic energy that makes streams uncomfortable for everyone involved. BruceDropEmOff's betrayal. BruceDropEmOff teamed up with Kai and Your Rage for a 3-day IRL stream in mid-October 2022. But although Kai was a far much bigger streamer than Bruce and could potentially boost Bruce's brand by appearing on stream with him, Bruce somehow still felt like Kai was using him just for content. The entire situation was bizarre because most smaller streamers would kill for the opportunity to collaborate with someone of Kai's caliber, but Bruce saw it as some kind of exploitation instead of the blessing it actually was. Bruce started going off saying, "I'm tired of it, chat, because this is the whole ordeal. Y'all niggas real life like this shit is corny to me, bro. Only a wanting to call people when it's for content. All 4 of them call my phone when I wasn't streaming, but not all, bro. Kai, you ain't call my phone when I wasn't streaming, and you calling my phone for some content, bro." The accusation was not only ungrateful, but also completely missing the point of how content creation and collaboration works in the streaming world. He continued, "That's how it go though. I can talk real because I ain't got shit to hide. These niggas scripting and hiding shit, I don't give a fuck." Bruce was basically airing out private business and making wild accusations about people being fake, which is exactly the kind of behavior that destroys relationships in this industry. These words did not sit well with Kai, who responded, "I don't want to be your friend no more. I don't want to do shit with you no more. I don't want to be associated with you no more because it is too dangerous to have a nigga like that in my circle." Kai's response showed how serious the situation was because he didn't just brush it off or try to smooth things over. He completely cut Bruce off, which is something you don't see him do very often. The whole incident revealed Bruce's character flaws and insecurity issues, making him look petty and ungrateful when he should have been appreciative of the opportunity. Even close to a year later, Kai still didn't want to talk about Bruce saying, "This what I be talking about. I don't talk about certain situations because in my real life I've went through it and I've made the smart decision on making my circle the way it's supposed to be. I haven't spoken on the situation since I spoke on the situation. Let that sink in." The fact that Kai maintained his silence about Bruce for so long showed the level of disappointment and hurt that Bruce's betrayal caused. Bruce's fragile ego and accusations about being used for content permanently damaged his relationship with one of the biggest streamers who could have helped his career, proving that sometimes your biggest enemy is yourself and your own inability to appreciate good opportunities when they come your way. Max Major's dangerous stunt. Max Major the Magician made his appearance during during Cenat's Mafiathon 2 live stream in November 2024 and did something that left everyone present there extremely concerned and uncomfortable. It was a prank where Kai and the others had no idea what was going to happen, and Kai decided to trust Max to continue saying, "I believe in Max." Max then proceeded to ask Kai to pull one of 2 ropes, leaving him with a 50% chance of killing Max, according to what everyone thought was happening. When Kai pulled the rope, Max appeared to die right in front of everyone, and soon the entire stream descended into chaos, with everyone getting concerned over Max's health, not knowing whether this was planned or not. The traumatic experience of watching someone apparently die on stream was something none of the guests or viewers signed up for, and the psychological impact was immediate and severe. You could see the panic in everyone's faces as they tried to figure out if they had just witnessed an actual death or if this was some elaborate setup, only to find out that this was a stunt all along when Max played a pre-recorded message saying, "If you're watching this, that means that something has gone terribly wrong, but what you don't know is that was all according to my plan." The revelation that it was fake didn't make anyone feel better. It actually made them angrier because they realized Max had deliberately traumatized them for content. This questionable stunt left Kai and everyone else there very upset and mad at Max, especially because this could have easily gotten Kai banned from Twitch, causing him to lose his career and millions of dollars in potential earnings. Kai told him, "You was fucked up, Max. You fucked up, bro." The anger in Kai's voice was genuine because Max had put his entire livelihood at risk without permission or warning. This resulted in his viewers abandoning him and views dropping drastically, leading to Max disappearing from his YouTube channel, which had 1 million subscribers. However, he has been active on Instagram, carrying on as usual by posting his magic tricks, but his viewers still haven't forgiven him for the stunt, with Kai saying, "Bro is a sociopath. You lost more than you gained. Hope it was worth it." The comments on his posts are filled with people calling him out for his reckless behavior and questioning his mental state. For Max, joining Kai's stream marked the beginning of his downfall because he put Kai's career at risk with a dangerous stunt that nobody consented to, proving that some attention isn't worth getting if it destroys your reputation and career in the process. Lil RT's inappropriate content. Lil RT, the 9-year-old rapper, made multiple appearances on Kai's streams starting in November 2023, just a month after his song 60 Miles went viral, rapping about gang life and violence. The stream started wholesome with Kai bringing gifts and treating him like a little brother, but things took a turn when Lil RT began freestyling inappropriate lyrics that shocked Kai, who asked, What did you say?" The whole situation was uncomfortable because here you had a literal child rapping about adult themes that he clearly didn't understand the implications of. Kai didn't condone the language, but fans called him out saying he should have stopped the stream, blamed the parents in this BS culture. The criticism was valid because many people felt that Kai had a responsibility to protect the child from himself and not give him a platform to spread inappropriate content to other kids watching. Despite backlash, Lil RT returned for the 2024 Christmas Eve stream, where Kai donated $16,000 for RT's brother's medical expenses after he was shot, showing that despite the controversy, Kai genuinely cared about the kid's well-being. However, Lil RT blurted another slur live, prompting Kai's stronger response. "Watch your mouth. You don't have to say those things at your age." This time, Kai took a much more parental approach, trying to educate rather than just react, which showed growth in how he handled difficult situations with young guests. That was RT's final Kai appearance, though he continued making music and finding controversies, like performing at a Miami party surrounded by OnlyFans models, which critics called child abuse. The Miami incident really highlighted the problem with Lil RT's situation, because it wasn't just about inappropriate lyrics anymore. It was about adults putting a child in sexualized situations for entertainment and profit, which crossed every line imaginable and raised serious questions about who was responsible for protecting this kid from exploitation.